Alright, look, I know what y'all are gonna say. I'm a fraud. I said you wouldn't have to wait a month for the next video. And yet, here we are. Look, I'm sorry, I'm never on time. But you know who is always on time? I ain't even gotta say it, bro. But anywho, today we're talking about a story where God told someone to do something, and they didn't do it. I know, that doesn't exactly narrow it down because that's like 80% of the Bible. But today, we're talking about Jonah. I'm sure you guys have heard this story before, but just in case y'all haven't, God told Jonah to go down to Nineveh, because they were over there cutting up, and God wasn't having it. But Jonah said, "No sir, not me," and took off. Bro got on a ship and headed in the opposite direction.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
But God, being God, sent a storm to beat up the ship. Jonah, I hate to break it to you, but you ain't going nowhere. Except Nineveh. Like, what did he think was gonna happen? And because Jonah wanted to run from God, he put the ship's crew at risk too. So now we putting other people at risk because we don't want to do what we're told? That's crazy. Now the crew is over there freaking out. They thought it was gonna be another day at sea. Instead, they're about to get packed up because Jonah wanted to be trifling. They were so pressed that they started throwing stuff overboard to lighten the load of the ship. And when that didn't work, because we knew that wouldn't work, come on now, they started calling out to every single god they could think of. They were like, Allah, Buddha, Thor, Beerus, anybody, we don't care, just save us. Every man on board was calling out to their god. Every man except Jonah. Now, y'all can't see me right now, but trust me when I say I'm balling up my fist while reading this next part. Jonah was knocked out, catching some Z's, taking a nap. My brother, you are not Jesus. Get your stupid behind up. The captain of the ship thought the same thing, because he was like, I know this man is not asleep. Boy, if you don't get up and pray us up! After this, they decided to cast lots to determine who was the cause of the storm. I don't know how that would determine the cause of the storm. I mean, what would have happened if the lots fell on anyone other than Jonah? I guess that doesn't matter, and I guess we'll never know. Because they did, in fact, fall on Jonah. And after that, the crew started pressing him for information. They said, yo, who be you? What's your occupation? Where are you from? What's your social security number? IP address? We need that. All that. Jonah answered by saying, so like, I'm a Hebrew, and I worship the Lord who made the sea and the dry land. I also just so happen to be on the run from this person.
You what?
And while all this is going down, the storm is getting worse and worse and worse. So naturally, the crew became even more scared and asked Jonah what to do to get the storm to chill out. And Jonah told them that if they tossed him into the sea, everything would be fine. Now, me personally, I would have yeeted Jonah overboard when I found him asleep. It's a dire situation, and you too comfy, little bro. Bye. But that's just me, though. Now, the crew tried to get to dry land. I'm guessing this was to avoid throwing Jonah overboard. Again, they better than me. But of course, that didn't work either. So they prayed to God and said, God, look, he messed up, not us. Please don't kill us because he want to be a track star. And then they finally threw Jonah into the sea. And we all know what happens next. Anyway, while being in the belly of this fish for 3 days, Jonah cried out to God. He repented for running away and disobeying. So God told the fish to spit Jonah out. And now Jonah was finally ready to go to Nineveh. When he got there, he told them that since they were cutting up so much, that God was going to wipe them off the map. The people of Nineveh heard this and were like, well, can't have that. And they started getting their act together. Had a citywide fast and everything. And after seeing this, God decided to keep them on the map after all.
Woo! Yes! I love that!
Yay, all's well that ends well. Everyone is happy, except Jonah, for some reason. Why, you ask? I have no idea. You would think people actually listening to the preaching would make said preacher happy, but no. He was so mad that God showed mercy to Nineveh that he asked God to take his life. Wait, whoa. Hold up. So you mean to tell me that this is the reason that Jonah ran in the first place? Not because he thought Nineveh wouldn't listen, but because he knew they would? And he knew that God would forgive them? What did people of Nineveh do to you, Jonah? I want to know. For real. That's like next level hater energy. That's not something that can be taught. That's a craft. So Jonah went out of the city because he wanted to get away from the peasants of Nineveh and set up camp outside. And God gave him a plant to shade him from the heat. And just as Jonah started chilling, God had the plant wither away. This will make sense in a minute, I promise. Let him cook. And after that, Jonah was like, you know what? That's fine. Having a heat stroke ain't the worst way to go. I don't want to be here no more anyway. God responded to that by asking, is it right for you to be angry about that plant? And Jonah answered by saying, what type of stupid question? Yes, it is right for me to be angry about this. I'm so angry, in fact, that I might just drop dead right now. Bro, this man Jonah was straight tweaking, almost as disrespectful as Cain. But God answered Jonah with this. You pity the plant for which you did not labor, nor did you make it grow. It came into being in a night and perished in a night. And should I not pity Nineveh, the great city in which there are more than 120,000 people, who did not know their right hand from their left, and also much cattle. So moral of the story, there's a thin line between self-righteousness and hatred of your fellow man. Some would say there's not even a line at all. And that type of attitude will eventually lead you to sin against others and God, to be disobedient in the things that God has told you to do. Just because you're following Jesus doesn't mean you're better than anyone. God showed you mercy, the same mercy he can show to someone you think doesn't deserve it. Remember who you are, and remember who you serve. That is all.